we can go for it. You guys are good.
Okay.
Who wants to kick off?
Well, how are you feeling on a night where, of course, the documentary is the focus and your story is on full display? How does it feel to sort of be in this spotlight after everything you've gone through?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd reflect on it as if I'm in the spotlight or not. I think it's just the story itself. I think maybe is the spotlight, right? And it's not so much me, but everything that has gone into it, everybody that's played a part in it, because it takes a village. And I think a journey like this, it doesn't just end either. It's going to be something that I continuously work on and continue on, really. Obviously, it's been a wild ride here the last couple of years and ups and downs and what have you. But, it's going to take some time, I think, to digest really what the last few months especially have been like. And obviously that hectic period of time right before the playoffs and into the playoffs and whatnot. So it'll definitely take some time to digest it, but pretty unique night here tonight. I'm excited and looking forward to it.
It seems like you were doing some reflecting on social media about that whirlwind of returning to play and the playoffs and all that. What came to you in those moments of thinking back to what that was like?
I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to put it into words. It really is. And social media can be great in a lot of ways. In other ways, it's I don't really know what words to use to try to explain it to people. I'd rather, and I think that's why a clean sheet in the documentary has been so great, because it's allowed me to really sit down, digest things as we're going, talk to AJ about it, talk to the camera about it, and really kind of use more than a few sentences to put it together. But I think, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the support all along the way, and I think that sort of was my message maybe on Instagram earlier this week, was couldn't have done it without the support. And obviously from Avs faithful and our fan base all around the world, really, but my close friends and family and coaches and trainers and treatment people that have been all around Avs organization have been just outstanding from the get-go and allowed me to take on this journey. And in a lot of ways they could have chosen a lot of different ways to go about it, but they stuck with me and supported me in every way I wanted to and allowed me to explore everything. So just really thankful for everything, I think.
You said that your story isn't over, this story isn't over. Are you already looking forward to playing next year, full training camp, all that stuff?
Oh yeah, I've been back in the gym, back on the ice, and I'm feeling good. And I'm excited about an off season where I can not just try to get healthy, but actually try to get better. So I'm excited about it and looking forward to what's to come.
What makes the documentary the best is that it's got a happy ending. It wouldn't have been very good if you didn't get back on the ice and then get back with the Avs, make a difference in the playoffs. I mean, what a way to finish this thing out.
Yeah, and I think that was pretty nerve-wracking as we were going along, because at the end of the day, and I think that's what made AJ's job so hard, is that, we were trying to make the story, and we knew the beginning. We didn't know what the middle and the ending was going to look like. And normally you do a documentary, you have sort of at least those things mapped out. So we didn't know what it was going to look like. And then, we clinched a deal with Warner Brothers and TNT a few months ago. And then it was we started picking some air dates and things like that. And I'm like, I don't really know where this is going to go. So that was, a little bit nerve-wracking and scary at times. But I always come back to kind of keep the main thing. And for me, that was to put my best foot forward in the gym and on the ice and focus on my training and treatment and all this stuff. And I just had to just focus on that and hope that all the other pieces were going to fall into place. And luckily they did. And we turned a corner and we were able to kind of see where that path was going to go. And yeah, the timing worked out and all that. And I think that was just accepting it for what it was and not trying to force anything and not trying to overdo anything, but trying to do my best, and luckily it worked out. I think the real happy ending would have been if we hoisted it again, but we'll get another crack at it here in a few months.
Is it strange to not have the fifth family member in the Landeskog house anymore? Everyone missing AJ a little bit?
Well, funny enough, we did get a fifth family member just 3 days ago. We had a baby girl.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much.
My gosh.
So, but I guess our part-time babysitter in AJ. We haven't seen him in a few weeks, and we'll have to make sure we bring him back. And you know, he's not going to be a stranger. And that's, I think, what's been so beautiful about this process as well is like AJ and I have become really close friends. And you know, at the start it was like, well, this is AJ, and he's got a camera, and he's hanging out with us. And then, you know, he's gotten a chance to see my kids kind of grow up for the last 2 months, and intermittently coming into our house and just being a part of it, sit down at the dinner table and hang out, and a lot of it's off camera too, right? But yeah, so it's been really special, and the whole Fresh Tape crew has been awesome in terms of just believing in the story and wanting to do right by it.
There's so much good, but is there one part when you look back at this documentary from start to finish, when you see the final episode, the final clip, not even the final episode, just any of them, that really emotionally gets you, that takes you back, that you're like, that's the most special part, that's what I'll remember most about this whole process?
Oh man, I don't know. It's so hard because at the end of the day, yeah, it's a 6-part documentary series, and the episodes are 28 minutes long or 25, but it's still only such a snapshot of what the last 2+ years have been like. And honestly, sometimes some of the hardest moments have come when AJ hasn't been there. And, you know, obviously you get to see one of them in episode 4 when AJ is there and he catches that moment in the hallway. But I think the one, you know, there are a few episodes where I look back and I'm like, man, I don't know what's coming. I have no idea what's going to come up ahead here, but strap in type of thing. Especially episode 2 and 3, I look at myself and I'm like, oh, it's a little bit naive thinking that you got it all figured out. And then, you know, but I think that's the reality of it. And, you know, pretty honest all along and try to be as authentic as I can. I think it's episode 1 maybe or 2 when I'm in Arizona and I'm talking to my own daddy cam and talking to the camera myself. You know, and I think that was the first time I'm like 6 or 7 days into it. And, you know, I'm non-weight bearing and I can't really move around much, and I think that's really kind of when it hits me on camera where I'm like, poof, this is going to be hard, and I don't think I realized how hard it's going to be for a long time. So, but still at the same time, I mean, nobody said it was going to be easy, and I knew what I signed up for, and at the end of the day I think I learned a lot throughout the process, and would I do it again? Absolutely, but I think I would have tweaked a few things here and there with the experience that I had now.
Gabe, your story can inspire a lot of people, not just hockey fans, but fans of the sport. Have you heard since the show debuted and since you got back, just from people you maybe wouldn't expect, just how much just seeing what you've gone through and your story has meant to them? Yeah,
I mean, the support's been incredible, and the feedback's been amazing from people all over the world, really. I mean, I've gotten emails and messages, and you know, it really touched my heart. And I don't necessarily go looking at those things, or, you know, normally you don't try to go deep into your direct messages on Instagram, but, you know, now throughout this documentary release, I mean, people have come out and shared their stories and shared how much it's inspired them or motivated them to do certain things or deal with certain things, and how they can relate to what I'm going through. And some of it is specific to knee injuries. Some of it's completely unrelated to what I've gone through. So I think that was sort of my goal with this whole thing from the get-go, was that if I can help 1 or 2 people, I mean, going through a hard time, just like Andy Murray's documentary, what that meant for me years ago, if I could do the same thing for somebody else, I think that's all I really cared about. Was it vulnerable? Was it hard at times? Did it feel like it wasn't necessarily always the right thing to do or say? And sometimes I didn't want to take any attention away from either the team or, you know, myself, and all of a sudden, you know, I'm being pulled in different directions. But at the end of the day, it's what I signed up for, and I'm really passionate about sharing this story, I guess, and showing the human side of sometimes what an injury or what a rehab and things like that can look like.
Dave, is this a continuation of your career, or is this like a whole new second act, second stage?
I don't know. I think in a way, I think it's a continuation, really. Would I like Gabe 2.0 to be better than 1.0? Absolutely. And I think that's the goal, right? But at the end of the day, I'm not going to use it as an excuse. I'm not going to try to hang on to it. I'm going to accept it for what it is. And the journey has been challenging and awesome, both at the same time. But, at the end of the day, I want to help our team win another Stanley Cup. And I think I want to be better for our team and stay healthy. And I think with a refreshed outlook of just enjoying and soaking it all in, knowing that it can be ripped away from you at any time, really. So I think having that fresh mindset would be really good.
You had a couple of setbacks through the recovery. What were the pressure points that were wanting you to return early, and when did you know it was actually time to come back?
I think what made me want to push it and what made me want to get back to the playoffs in 2024, for example, was just myself. And just, being a competitor and being an athlete, somebody gives you a certain timeline, you think, okay, well, I've beaten timelines before, I'm going to do it again. And I think that's just the competitor in you. And then, you get slapped in the face and you have to step back and you have to realize, well, we got some more work to do and we got to take a few steps back. So how did I know I was ready to come back, and how did I know that was going to happen? We just kind of kept putting one foot in front of the other, kept stacking the bricks, as I like to say, and it just eventually we started kind of progressing a little bit faster than we had, and then it was just came together. I don't know what else to tell you. It was just the timing itself. I kept, there were a few times where I kept thinking to myself, is this really going to work out the way, like it was kind of scripted in a way of like, is this really going to happen? And it kind of did. And I tried myself to just stay in the moment, stay present, do the best I could. And remarkable looking back at it, I guess, that the timing did work out.
How much more important the fact that you came back for the first game, you got the ovation and all that, but the second game showed you came back. You weren't just coming back. It wasn't just to bring the fans to their feet. You made this team better. I'm assuming that's what made this return the best for you. The fact that you could still make a difference when you came back.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, absolutely. I think I proved myself and other people that, I could still be a good player and still be an impactful player. And I think that was, I had that in the back of my mind all along, is that, yeah, there were doubts of like, what kind of player are you going to be when you get back, and it's easy to have those doubts when you haven't even stepped on the ice in weeks, right? And you don't really know what that was going to feel like. But as I kept skating, kept stacking days on the ice, we kept doing harder and harder things on the ice and more game-like things. I started believing like, hey, I can do this again, and I can do this in a game scenario and game situation. So. Did it feel good to score? Absolutely. Pretty incredible feeling. It's hard to score in the NHL, so it felt great. I think, in an ideal world, I would have liked to play even better, to be honest. And, Game 7 wasn't my best game, and I think a handful of us would say the same thing, is that, we played good, and we played good enough to have a 2-0 lead, but after that, it's like we've got to find a way, and those are things you learn from, right? And there is experience in that room, no doubt, but it just shows that we still have things to learn. And when the disappointment and frustration subsides from a Game 7 loss, there are lessons to be learned.
Clearly it hasn't subsided yet, but do you think everything you've gone through with your recovery can help you both get over the Game 7 loss and help the team move forward as well? Yeah,
I think so. And it's on a different level, right? And a different, just a little bit different in general of some of kind of the setbacks that I had, or, the uphill climbs that I had to deal with personally in my rehab. But I think it's just definitely a fresh perspective, and you learn things about yourself when you're going through a tough time, and you're just kind of forced to deal with it, find ways, and step back, think about it, analyze it. What can I do better? What has worked? What hasn't worked? And it's no different in sports, right? You do the same thing, and that's what we'll spend our summers doing, of thinking about how can we be better as a team? How can we be better with the 2-0 lead on the road in Game 7? So yeah, I mean that's the way. That's the only way to do it. You can't sit here and hang your head down low and feel bad for yourself, feel sorry for yourself. It's just right back up on the horse again.
That's good. Thanks.
Appreciate it. Thank you.